let me ask you guys a question. Y'all think Michelle Obama and Barack gonna have a divorce? Press one if y'all think Barack Obama and Michelle gonna get a divorce. Let's see. Jerome said nope. JC said yes. True KD said yep. Yo, I see it coming. I see it coming. I see it coming. She is shredding this dude's legacy, man. She is shredding his legacy, bro. Y'all must not have seen what she said about him. Have y'all seen what she said about him? So, for those of you that don't know, she got her own podcast now with her brother. And all I'm gonna say is she said some really interesting stuff. And I ain't even gonna front. It seemed like she's trying her best to dismantle what's left of his legacy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play some of what she said about Barack. I'm gonna play some of it because I want y'all to hear what she said. You feel me? Yo, shout out to Miles. Says Stephen A. went off on Braun on Gilbert Arenas' show. He did. Yo, man, shout out to Gilbert Arenas, man. That's what I should do. I should see if I can get on Gilbert's show. He done came through here a couple times. I might try to see if I can get on his show so I can talk some shit. You feel me? Shout out to Miles. He said I was reading that Iman Shumpert divorce, and that mess hurt my soul. AM ladies, this is why we don't trust any of you. Just being real. SYSBM. Look, I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. The more time marches on, I honestly don't see why any man would get married. I don't. I don't. Now, some of y'all might say, but Angryman, you got married. Yeah, but I'm an old school dude. You feel me? I'm a traditional dude and I married a traditional woman. But these new age women, bruh, I really don't see why. I really don't see why dudes nowadays would get married. I don't. Because when you look at somebody like Barack Obama, right? Whether you like his politics or not, here is a dude that reached the highest office in the land. And then let's not get it twisted. At one point, this dude was super popular. At one point, this dude was like Jesus' cousin or something. And he was a two-term president. And this, let me ask y'all this question, right? Let me ask y'all this question, honestly. When have you ever seen a first lady go in on her president husband like this? When have you ever seen that? When have you ever seen a first lady go in on her presidential husband like this? Now, I'm gonna say this, even though a lot of folks ain't gonna agree with it, but I gotta say it, bruh. I gotta say it. Let's see, Soldier said, because you was raised by the greatest generation. Yeah, that's part of it. But look, ladies, black women, do y'all know how bad it looks for the first lady to go in on her president husband? Had to be the first black couple in the presidency. Do y'all have any idea how bad that looks? So the first black president with a black first lady, and now that he's no longer in office, she always got something messed up to say about him. And I'm telling you right now, in this podcast, this is like red table talk all over again, fam. Hell, matter of fact, Will Smith might as well play Barack Obama in the biopic, if they ever do a biopic. Will Smith might as well play Barack Obama, because Michelle is pulling a Jada Pinkett right now. Like, real talk, man. Like, she throwing so much shade at Barack Obama. You know what? I'm going to just play it. Hey, man, make sure y'all hitting the Cash App, supporting the show. We need another sponsor, man. Somebody else sponsor the show. Shout out to JC. We need some more support. You feel me? Let's play this shit. Let's see. I skipped to the part where they talking about Barack Obama. Check it out. So this is a conversation between Michelle and her brother.
And walk away from guaranteed money and basically start over in brand new careers. But that's the beauty of having a big brother who's paving the way.
Yeah. And, you know, in more recent times, I mean, it feels like I can call and talk to you about anything. I mean, you know, we talk about the kids. Now, see, I have the younger kids now.
Well,
so
now you're on marriage number 2.
I'm on marriage number 2, and I'm a charter member of the ODC, the Old Dads Club.
Yeah.
And
although you look good.
I do. But, you know, just being able to call you up and have an opportunity to gain from your wisdom, it's just really,
now that I got a little, huh?
It's nice. It's nice.
Well, I couldn't have gotten through 8 years in the White House without my big brother. That's another sort of unusual aspect to our lives. Our relationship was this whole, you know, being married to the president of the United States thing.
Yeah.
that none of us kind of banked on. I mean, we knew Barack was smart and, you know, ambitious, but, you know, I think, but you talked me into supporting his run.
I did.
And he was smart enough to know that he needed to come to you and sell you on the idea. So tell folks, what did he say and what you said to me?
So
embarrassing.
Did y'all hear the first little bit of shade? She said that her brother had to talk her into supporting him running for president. And he was smart enough to go to him so that he could convince his wife to support him. It gets worse. It gets worse. Shout out to Devin. It gets worse. Now, if y'all want to keep going, we need some more support, man. If y'all want to keep going, hit the Cash App and support the show. Shout out to Dark Bushido. Said Chris Brown didn't want Tiana at his birthday party for a reason. Usher's capping, switch hitting ass. Yeah. Shout out to JC for the membership. Now she said, tell us what you said, what you said to Barack.
Run.
I did.
And he was smart enough to know that he needed to come to you and sell you on the idea. So tell folks, what did he say and what you said to me?
So,
because I was definitely like, nope, no way, this is crazy. We've done enough crazy stuff.
That's right. That's right. And, everything happened so fast because Barack went from a state senator to a U.S. senator. And next thing you know, people were saying, this guy should run for president. And you were like, no, not doing it. You had grown up with Fraser Robinson. You wanted your girls to have sort of a similar upbringing with a father who would come home from work and play catch and take them to the park and do all these things. And Barack came to me and he's like, I can't convince your sister to go along with this. And I'm like, whoa, go along with what? And it's like, I think I'm going to run for president. And I was like, what? I wouldn't go along with it. And I said to him, I said, listen, what you have to do is, first of all, let me talk to her. You don't talk to her. Let me talk to her. No, it wasn't.
What? Do you think I would have to go to my wife's brother to get him to convince her to support me? Not to mention the fact that her brother gonna look me in the face and tell me, don't you talk to her, I'll talk to her. What? Nigga, what? Said, you think Trump had to go through that? Bruh, no white men had to go through that. I promise you. Shout out to Gary. He said, the brother seems like a typical male hyena. Facts.
It wasn't that. I said, I said, if we can get mom on this, our mom, Marion Robinson, if we can get her on board for this, which she was not on board for it, we might.
So we making a list. His wife, Michelle, wasn't supportive of him running for president. His brother-in-law wasn't supportive of him running for president. And his mother-in-law wasn't supportive of him running for president. You know what this means, right? This means that when every time they was coming out on stage, smiling, giving each other the fist bump, all that shit was fake, bruh. All that shit was phony.
I'd have a chance of getting Mish on. And then I said, let me talk to Mish. And that's when I came and talked to you and just gave you your advice that you had given me back pretty much about following your passion and doing the things you love. But I think the thing that pushed it over the top was I convinced you to not penalize him for being really good at what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And
why would she penalize him for being good at what? Bruh, I got to say this shit. Only in our community will your woman, your black woman, penalize you for achieving some shit. Big Wave said she's a piece of work, bruh. That's an understatement. That's an understatement.
And that would be like a guy who is fighting to get to the NBA and he makes it. And because the travel is messed up, his wife says, no, I don't want you to do it. Mm-hmm. And it just wouldn't be fair.
Shout out to Corey, said for the show. Appreciate you.
And I talked to you and Mom at the same time, and both of you sat there reasonably mad and said I was right.
Mad about what? This is nasty work.
And then I said to everybody in our family that this is not just you all doing it. This means all of us are doing it.
Yeah.
Because of the scrutiny you guys would be under, the work you're going to have to do. It's going to take a village to do this whole thing. And that was pretty much the discussion that we had that got this whole thing started.
And that meant that you put your money where your mouth was. I mean,
they're literally sitting here, bruh. This is the illest mindfuck I've ever heard in my life. They're literally sitting here talking about how they didn't support his presidential run while simultaneously trying to take credit for it. You can't make this shit up. They're literally sitting here right now talking about how nobody supported his presidential run while simultaneously trying to take credit for his presidential run.
The course of the campaign, the mini campaigns, our time in the White House, I could count on you to be there when I needed you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you campaigned with us, you campaigned for us. You know, if anything got tight, if I was feeling a certain way, my team, especially Mel, my chief of staff, who's been with me forever, she knew who to call.
Oh.
She would,
her chief of staff. Wait. Did I miss something? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know that much about first ladies. Do first ladies have a chief of staff? Do first ladies have a chief of staff? Then what is she talking about? JM said, yeah, they do. They do? would a first lady need a chief of staff? Why would a first lady need a chief of staff? Oh, hold on one second. We gotta get some clarity on this. Does the first lady of the United States typically have a chief of staff? No, it's not exciting because first ladies don't do anything. Hell no. The hell does a first lady do? Like, seriously, other than hobbies. I'm sorry. I must just be a caveman. I must be a caveman. You feel what I'm saying? I'm a caveman barbarian. Something's wrong with me, y'all. Y'all gotta excuse me. Something's wrong with me. Because I personally don't see nothing that a first lady does. I don't. I don't. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Because to me, this is gonna sound so misogynistic when I say it. Do y'all think I should say it? People ain't gonna never ask me to be on their shows for interviews, but it's gonna sound real misogynistic. Should I say it? A first lady having a chief of staff is like your maid having a manager. I'm sorry, because to me, I feel like the first lady's duties in the White House, she should be instructing people to do stuff, not having someone else instruct people to do stuff that the first lady should be instructing them to do. It seems like a use that seems like a useless role to me. That seems like a useless role to me. Like, I can understand why the president would have a chief of staff because look at everything he has on his plate. You feel me? The president is running the free world. What is the like? And look, I'm not even gonna front. I don't even feel like the vice president should have a chief of staff. I don't, cause like, I'm sorry, that's just me. That's just me, bro. I don't look. I don't, like, cause what are you doing? Like, What are you doing? You feel me? Like what are you doing? And look, y'all gotta forgive me. I might just be ignorant. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. You feel what I'm saying? It just seems weird to me. I don't know. Shout out to Ebo Sosa. He said she the first lady. Obviously, Obama was the second lady. Oh my God. Whew. Sweet Jesus.
She just
Melissa loves you more than I do. It's like a lot of times Melissa will be like, I need Craig. And she'd call you.
and I come a running.
And it was always a breath of fresh air. I mean, there's just something about having your foundation in check, like being able to touch base with home in the middle of something hard and scary and uncertain. And you did that and did that for the girls because they needed their uncle and their cousins. And I wanted them, our Avery and Leslie, sadly, Austin and Aaron were so young, the poor things. They were there, but they don't remember any of it. They're like, why didn't we go to the White House? It's like, you were there. Dude, you were there. You were just 4.
You know what? They remember the turkey pardoning.
Well, that was the last
thing.
They got every year we'd have the turkey pardoning. And that was the one thing that the girls would do at Barack was to go stand next to him when he pardoned this turkey.
Yes.
And it was cute when they were little. But as they got older, you could see on their faces in the shots of them thinking, I would just poke my eyes out. Just right now, just get me out of here. I'm standing with my father telling these stupid jokes, next to a turkey.
She hates that nigga. She hates that man. She hates that man. Do you see how she's figuring out ways to slide the shots in? Like, as the story is progressing, she's figuring out ways to throw shots at him while she's talking, bro.
When he pardoned this turkey.
Yes.
And it was cute when they were little, but as they got older, you could see on their faces in the shots of them thinking, I would just poke my eyes out. Just right now, just get me out of here. I'm standing with my father telling these stupid jokes, Now,
I want you to think about this. And oh my gosh, she is so unattractive. I want y'all to think about this. So there's a bunch of you Democrats, a bunch of you leftists, all of that, right? That think Barack Obama is this awesome figure, this awesome president. Look at how his wife views him. Look at how she just described his children viewing him. When they do the turkey pardon, they don't want to stand there with him telling his stupid jokes. Let me ask y'all this question. As much as you got so many people in this country that hate Donald Trump, do you ever think for 1 second that Donald Trump's children are not swelling with pride to be standing next to their father when he's doing presidential shit. You can look at his children, you could look at their faces and tell they are so freaking proud to be the children of Donald Trump. Even when they, Barron doesn't really do interviews, but one of the other sons, who is it, Don Jr., he does interviews. All he does is talk about how proud he is of his dad. Yo, I'm telling you right now, this right here exemplifies the problem with the black community. This exemplifies it. Yo, us men in the black community, we are not revered. We're not honored. We're not respected. And you got to think about this. This man was at the highest office in the land. This man was the president. And his wife is on a podcast talking about him like this. That nigga may as well been a freaking manager at Burger King the way she talking about him.
Next to a turkey. So by the time we got to the last year, the last turkey pardoning, they were done. They were just like, I'm out. I'm not going. So in subs, Austin and Aaron, how old were they at the time?
Oh, shoot. 6 and 4,
Perfect
maybe?
turkey pardoning age. Like they were like, call me up. I'm in, coach. I'm ready. I'm ready to stand next to Uncle Barack. And they loved his stupid jokes. They loved the jokes. He felt like a new.
She did it again. They loved his stupid jokes. You know what? I don't really like Barack Obama like that. But damn, I feel sorry for him. As a man. Forget the president shit. Just as a man, I feel sorry for him. Like, bruh. Bruh, if my wife sat on a podcast and talked about me like this, I would be livid. I would be livid, bruh. Yo, shout out to Terrell. He said, kind of reminds me of when Killer Mike told that kid he could never be president. Negroes love shooting down dreams, fam. Shout out to CH, said, as soon as she said no, she won't support me running for president, I would have kicked her to the curb and went and got me a snow bunny. Woo! Shout out to, well, one thing we know for certain, if Barack was married to a snow bunny, she wouldn't be on no damn podcast talking crazy about him right now. We know that, whether he became president or not. Shout out to Billy Nico. Said Obama had snakes around him, probably pushed him to support the letter mob as well, shaking my head. Shout out to Brent. He said Obama was the Trojan horse. I'm not surprised. Shout out to Frame Runner. He said, damn, Michelle, tell us how you really feel. Yo, if you're just coming in here, hit the Cash App and support the show. We need another sponsor. Somebody else sponsor the show. Shout out to Danielle. Said for the show. Appreciate it. We need another sponsor. Somebody sponsor the show. We got one sponsor. We got Calvin. We need another sponsor.
New man. He's like, I got a new crew in. They were fascinated. While their daughters were like, you are sad, Dad. Austin and Aaron came in. So they remember that, his stupid jokes. They
laughed at his
loved
jokes.
He felt like a new man. He's
they
like, I
were
got a new
amazed.
crew in. They were fascinated. While their daughters were like, you are sad, Dad. Austin and Aaron came in. So they remember that.
How are you sad when you're president? How are you sad when you're president? Frame Runner said Barack was surrounded by so many haters. This is crazy. This is crazy.
That because that was like the last chance when they started having memories.
Of course, nothing was better than having Thanksgiving dinner at the White House. So so we just absolutely loved being a part of that whole thing. This episode of I Am
Writing the books and doing book tours.
We started talking about this at the outset, why we're doing this show.
Post White House and writing the books and doing book tours, speaking at leadership conferences, things you do as a coach, you realize that what we have, even in our lack of resources, in our household growing up, we had people who would share their opinions, give us advice. We had mentors, and we were used to mentoring and being mentored. And I realized that a lot of people don't have that. They don't have a safe place to come sometimes,
right,
where they feel comfortable being vulnerable and asking hard questions, or they don't have people in their lives they trust. They are lone wolves, or maybe they have contentious relationships where they're estranged from the people they could rely on. So a lot of people out there are looking for guidance. A lot of people have questions they want to know, especially when they see somebody of note with a platform who, by every measure looks successful. The first question is, how'd you do this? Tell me more. So I can only access so many people through books or a tour.
How'd you do this? How'd you do this? It's easy how you did it. Your husband became president.
Or at limited leadership conferences. So I think this podcast, first and foremost, gives us an opportunity to hear from folks. We're going to be taking questions from listeners who are going through some things and just need a little advice. They want to hear from people in conversations, and folks are looking for a place where they can just they can hear stories. I mean, what I realize is, like, by sharing some of these stories, it always taps into something from somebody else. People.
Translation: this is not the last of this. She's most certainly gonna say some more messed up shit about Barack Obama in these podcasts.
They want to hear some honest kind of conversation about how people are working it through. And we don't have all the answers. I mean, this show isn't about us being experts at anything other than the lives that we've lived. But what we do have are a lot of opinions.
Hence the name.
You know what this is? You know what this is? This is Whitney and Bobby's reality TV show. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something right now. You look at somebody like Denzel Washington, right? We all love Denzel. We think him and his wife have a wonderful marriage. The worst thing they could ever do is a reality show or a podcast. That's the worst thing they could ever do. Think about what you thought about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett before we started knowing all of their business. And just think about what your opinion of Will Smith was before we knew all of their business. I got a prediction. Michelle does not like Barack Obama, has not liked Barack Obama for a very long time. And I feel like she is determined to tear down his legacy brick by brick. What's left of it. What's left. And she don't even realize she's doing a great disservice to the Democrat Party. Because when it comes time for them to try to have another president run, they can't tap Barack again. They can't tap him again. They can't be like, hey, Barack, we got so-and-so running in 2028. We need you to go out and do some campaigning and some. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. She's literally dismantling what little credibility he had. You the first president whose wife is dragging you on a podcast. Shout out to Gary, says she's bad because he outshined her. Basic B-dub jealousy. Facts. Facts. Why is she even doing a podcast? Why? 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 You're not gonna see no other. You're not gonna see no other first lady doing a podcast. You're not gonna see any other first lady doing a podcast. You ain't gonna see that shit. You're not gonna see it.
In my opinion, IMO. And what better person to do this with than my big brother, who, I know how you think. I know why you think it. You were funny as all get out. I trust you implicitly. But I am also excited that we're going to involve other people around our table, that we've got friends and, other leaders out there and people we've met over the scope of our lifetimes who, have their own podcasts or living their own lives, who are going to come in and engage, because we have our opinions, but so do a lot of other people. And I hope the show, encourages people to have conversations about what they're afraid about. Don't do what, the one time you didn't lean on me.
This is cap. This is cap. This is cap. She is not up there with her brother to have no regular conversation. She is up there for the purpose of dogging out Barack. I guarantee you more episodes are gonna come out, and I guarantee you she's gonna find a way to slide that Barack hate in there. I guarantee you. I guarantee you she is going to slide as much Barack Obama shade in this as she possibly can. And guess what? It's going to get views. People going to watch it until they get tired of it. And they ain't going to get tired of it until, look. You want to know why Jada doesn't do Red Table Talk anymore? Press 1 if y'all want to know why Jada doesn't do Red Table Talk anymore. Because it achieved its goal. it achieved its goal. What was its goal? To make Will Smith crash out. That was the goal of that shit. Like, she just kept pushing him, because I'm going to tell you what it was with her. She didn't like Will's squeaky clean image. And she was hell bent. And I'm going to tell you something else. She's probably mad that Will's career went through the roof, but hers stalled out. And so she's like, I got to bring this Negro back down to my level. And when Will Smith walked up on that stage because of her and slapped the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth because of her and ruined his legacy and his career because of her, what? Ain't no need no more. Ain't no need for the red table talk no more. That's what she set out to do. Legacy destroyed. Because let's be real about it. No matter what Will Smith does right now, who's really checking for him? Who's checking for him? Some of y'all will say, well, what about that last Bad Boy movie? Yeah, if Martin wasn't in it, you wouldn't have watched it. If Martin wasn't in it, you wouldn't have watched it. Anything else Will does right now, don't nobody give a shit. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. Now look, I can give y'all some more of my opinion on this, but the only way we're gonna do that is if we get some more support. If not, we gonna shut it down. Shout out to Dog Bushido. He said Michelle Obama is the perfect example of why SYSBM is a thing, and her jealousy of her husband's success is as clear as day. Now keep in mind, she said other stuff about Barack. She said other stuff about Barack. Now, if you remember, she made a statement a while back. She said she couldn't stand Barack for 10 years of their marriage. $10. She said she couldn't stand Barack for 10 years of their marriage.
Well, Barack,
Yeah.
he had to adjust to what on time was for
Because
me.
he was on that island time.
Well,
that
but
brother.
I've got this husband who's like, when it's time to leave, it's 3:00. He's getting up and going to the bathroom, and I was like, dude, like 3.
She said this on the podcast too. Listen carefully.
Well, Barack,
Yeah.
he had to adjust to what on time was for me.
Because he was on that island time.
Well,
that
but
brother.
I've got this husband who's like, when it's time to leave, it's 3:00. He's getting up and going to the bathroom, and I was like, dude, like 3:00 departure means you've done all that. It's like, don't start looking for your glasses. At the 3:00 departure. But he's improved over 30 years of marriage.
Over 30 years of marriage. So basically, she's basically leaning into a stereotype about black men, which is he don't know how to be on time. He don't know how to be on time.
Out into the world.
Michelle Obama is opening up about her marriage like never before.
People think I'm being catty by saying this. It's like there were 10 years when I couldn't stand my husband.
She joked during a roundtable discussion that her young daughters were to blame.
Little kids, they're terrorists. They are. They have demands. They don't talk. Right. They're poor communicators.
The former First Lady is getting personal while promoting her new book, The Light We Carry.
But guess what? 10 years, we've been married 30.
Wow.
I would take 10 bad years over 30. It's just how you look at it.
She said she couldn't stand the man for 10 years. How do you dislike somebody for 10 years? How do you dislike somebody for 10 years? How do you do that? How do you do that? How the hell do you dislike somebody for 10 years and don't leave the relationship? Susan said, is it possible they are happy now? Hell no, they ain't happy. I don't know nobody that dislikes somebody for 10 years, stay in the marriage, and then all of a sudden they like you again. I don't know, bruh. How you dislike somebody for 10 years and then all of a sudden you just, I'm willing to bet you any amount of money that the 10 years that she didn't like him was probably before he became president. And she probably stuck it out because he became president. And now that he's no longer president, she cutting loose. She cutting loose. Shout out to Jerome. He said for the shoe. Well, look, I thought we was going to get another sponsor. But since we did not, we about to wrap this up. Shout out to everybody that came through. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shout out to Calvin, who is our sponsor of the show. I definitely appreciate you, dude. Shout out to Ahmad as well. Shout out to everybody that hit the like button. Shout out to everybody that contributed. I really appreciate it. We about to get up out of here, man. Make sure you guys go check out my book, available on Amazon. All you have to do is type The Angryman Standard in the search bar and it will come up. Also, if you want to check out the merchandise, you can do so by going to shopBinoNation.com. Again, that's shopBinoNation.com. But other than that, man, I'm going to holler at you guys later. Deuces.
What is your profession?